Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today I have two replays for you in the Tier 7 Chinese tech tree tank destroyer, the T-34-2G FT. Now, I'm playing this tank because String Theory has been on and I've been grinding out Chinese TD line because it's a line I still yet to complete, which I now have done. And we're on the first replay here and we are in Tier 8 matchmaking. Now with this Tier 7 stealthy tank destroyer, I've got the concealment down to about 194, so you are very stealthy and you've got an option really of two guns you can use. I'm choosing to use the middle gun, which is the 250 alpha gun with the better rate of fire and the better accuracy and the better shell velocity. However, you could also alternatively use the top gun, which is a 390 alpha gun, which is quite decent because it's nice having 390 at tier alpha at tier 7. But I didn't really get on with it that well just because I found it to be a little bit derpy, and I had a lot more fun actually using this particular gun with the sort of lower alpha but that quicker rate of fire. So here we are, we've moved into a position, we're trying to secure the right hand side. Unfortunately, we've lost our Tier 8 Action X, but the tank, which is on the right hand side of this near the windmill, has lost quite a bit of HP. I'm hoping he's going to poke up so we can try and finish him on a one shot, because if he gets taken out, that will give us a little bit more freedom to actually move up and take a little bit more control, or at least try to take a bit more control of the map. And it looks like our friendly light tank is somewhat moving into position to try and do that. But I am going to go and try and help out our light tank. So light tank is on the one shot. I don't particularly want to lose our light tank because there is only one in the matchmaking. It would be helpful for us to keep him alive. So we're going to try and push up and try and take out this tank, being that we have still got all our hit points, or 800, which this tank has. So we can afford to eat a shot. And thankfully for our, the stealthiness of the tank, we're able to get there pretty much unlit until we're basically safe from the other guns. We eat one shot, we take the shot in order to pick up the kill and just gain that little tiny bit more control of the map, and didn't want to leave that tank there too long because it would have just kept us spotted and made it awkward for us to play. Now that tank has been taken out, we do have 3 shots here onto the tanks which are on the right hand side ridge, who have no one really sort of spotting for them other than themselves now. We get a nice track shot in. We're going to try and pull back a little bit. We don't want to be trading shots. We're trying to take advantage of our concealment if possible and use these bushes so we don't get spotted. We get a nice shot here into this enemy tank destroyer. We can pen the lower plate, but it isn't actually a guaranteed pen at this range. We do get 2 pens in, but now we start to bounce off of this same lower plate we was penning earlier. But we're just going to keep firing at the hope that one will go through, because he is on the one shot and we need to try and take him out if possible here. He turns and we should have been able to pen that shot if we would have aimed a little bit better. But thankfully, well actually not thankfully, we keep bouncing the lower plate here. But thankfully in a minute we do manage to pull that shell through and it does pen and we take out that tank. This game's still fairly close though. We picked up about 2,000 damage, 2 kills. Tiny bit of assistance which has come from taking off the track, so we've got a bit of track assistance there. But now I'm going to try and push forward. Now this medium here on the right hand side of that ridge is a little bit of a problem because he's probably going to be covered by the tanks in their spawn, which is basically on the hill behind their cap circle. So if we poke to try and finish this tank off, then we could potentially lose damage from the tanks on the hill. It wouldn't be a great idea. And it's not very wise for me to do it in a tank that only has 5 degrees of gun depression. It's going to be a little bit awkward. So I'm just going to ignore him for the time being, see if we can try and find out if we can light any of those tanks on the hill. But I just don't think it's going to be possible. And I really hope this tank on the right hand side does get taken out, because that will give us a lot more freedom. But right now I'd have no means to really get a kill shot on that tank. I just don't have the tank in order to do so. But our defender is trying, he is battling to try and take this tank out. We're going to pull back a little bit now so we don't get detected and caught out in the open, and to see if we can, like I say, this tank, thankfully does get taken out by a defender. Unfortunately the defender then loses his tank to the tanks camping on the hill. But now that's happened, we can actually push up to this ridge and get shots on the hill, and that's going to give it a lot, make it a lot easier for us, because they're going to struggle to actually spot us. But we can't really equally spot them. I think there is a super Hellcat on that hill. We're going to very much struggle to outspot a super Hellcat. It's probably just never going to happen unless he fires. So we're pulling back a little bit because I'm concerned that I don't know if we're going to lose the other side, and if we do, I want to get shots at these tanks which are potentially coming off the middle ground. They do own the castle in the middle, but equally I don't want to get detected when I fire in this open sort of ground here. So I'm going to pull back so I can try and use the bushes and then try and get shots onto this tank enemy mutant who has pushed off the hill. We do have slim shots into this tank. It's on about a 3 shot to us, I think. We put 1 shot in there, putting us onto just over 2,000 damage now. And we're just trying our best to take out this tank. But now he's turned this armour to us. It's going to be a struggle. So we're going to try and adjust again to see if we can make a way so we're shooting them side on rather than frontally. And just have better shots basically at that tank. And then Mausian has also got spotted on the hill. That tank we are going to struggle to pen with our sort of 244 penetration this tank has with the APCR at distance, because we're going to lose that penetration value. So we're really going to need to catch him sort of side on to us or rear on to ever have any chance of penning him, unless we got a clear shot at the lower plate of the tank. So he's pulling back here. We should be able to pen this because he is side on to us. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happens to that shot. We go for the blind shot. We do hit the blind shot because he was still there, putting us onto about 2,500 damage. We then manage to get a second blind shot in, putting us onto about just shy of 3,000 damage. And we go for the third one, but he has now finally moved. So he's probably unlikely to be able to get another shot into him there. And we're just going to stay a little bit patient. It's a close game all the way through right now. It's still 6 versus 6. So we do have to be pretty careful. I'm also a little bit concerned. I am burning through my ammo. I am now down to sort of 14 shells and the 2 HE shells. There is a 1-shot tank to our right. Hopefully we can maybe work out an angle to take that tank out. It gets taken out anyway by our friendly KV2. And I'm just kind of playing the patient game because I didn't want to get detected in the open. As that happened, a tank has pushed forward and now has spotted us. So I need to try and get out of here if I can. But I want to lose my spot so I don't get farmed from the hill before I do so. And then we're going to pull back to a little bit more of a safety position because, like I say, there's tanks not only on the hill. We only have 600 hit points. If we do get caught out in a little crossfire, it's not going to take long for them to get through us. I'll probably die in 2 shots. So I'm going to pull a little bit back while this Mausian is now got detected and see if we can get any shots again, just using the concealment from the bushes as a bit of an advantage, and try and get some shots into this Mausian. But this Mausian, we're going to really struggle to pen this Mausian, and we really need to get rid of him because our friendly tanks are struggling to pen him as well. The only chance I've got of penning him from this distance is if I manage to hit either the cupola or the lower plate. And I think right now, I probably should just be saving my ammo because I'm just wasting it. I'm going for the track shots just to track him in place and see if our friendly team can pen him. But right now, I think I'm just burning through my ammo, which probably is going to, well, it does come to be proven a bit of an error, really, because I'm just wasting these shells right now, which I'm probably going to need later on. So I'm just going to give up penning them. I'm just going to use my HE shells just to try and just keep them tracked, because I'm probably not going to need my HE shells for anything else. I don't think I'm going to need them for the base reset. So I'm just trying to just use them here to track him if possible. We do a little bit of splash damage there. And this tank's on a potential 1-shot to us if we can squeeze one in. But I am down to my final 6 shots now. And I don't really want to fire anymore. I'm hoping this Mausian gets taken out or turns. If he turns to sort of face our friendly team, then that will give me the opportunity to take him out, because this is very, very close. There is an enemy J-Panther which I can pen. I try and aim for the smallest shot there. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit. He backs up because he doesn't quite realise where I am, which gives us an easier shot. We pick up a little bit of resistance damage for that as well. Another enemy, I think, medium to get spotted, which we can hit, we can pen. Unfortunately, we miss our shell, although we can hopefully hit this one, putting them onto a 1-shot. with a bit of luck, we can try and get the finish onto this tank to confirm one of the tanks out of the game. We do hit it, but we bounce, and yeah, that is a bit awkward. But if he keeps going like this, we should get another opportunity to do it. We hit him, we leave him on a sliver of shots, but it then gets taken out. And now we only have one shot left. We should be able to pen the side on Malshun note, and we do at least leave our final shell to do something useful and kill that enemy Malshun. But now I'm regretting losing those other shells, because there's 2 tanks left, which I suspect are the tanks which are on the base. But I haven't really got any, I can't really do anything other than spot them from our friendly team. Maybe ram one of them, or just be a nuisance. I guess I could sit in the cap circle, but I think I'd get farmed from sitting in that cap circle. So I'm just going to try and pull forward and just hopefully get up to the hill to try and detect them. And I don't really want them to shoot our friendly team, because I've got no hit points. So I'm going to literally need the friendly team in order to win this game, because I'm not going to be able to do it by myself, unfortunately. An enemy medium tank is coming behind us, so we've got to keep pulling back here. We want to try and get into bush so we can keep him spotted, though, for our friendly team, which do have shots into this tank. And we are managing to pick up some assistance, but we don't want him to get too close that he also detects us as well. We know there is an enemy TD left, which is enemy Super Hellcat, which is on the hill, which has fantastic concealment, has fantastic DPM. I'm going to try and push up to the hill now, because I've just got a feeling that that Super Hellcat's going to start to try and potentially farm our team if left unattended to. So I'm going to try and get into a position so that, you know, if I can maybe try and bait him to turn and fight us. But I'm also, you know, conscious I'm going to get shot from this other enemy tank there, and I wanted to be in a position to run from that Super Hellcat. But I think our friendly team may be able to get this kill, but what I want to do is try and detect this Super Hellcat so that our friendly team can try and fight this other tank without having to worry about getting shot by the Super Hellcat. They do take out this other enemy medium, which is great. Now that does leave us into a 3 versus 1. I know I'm going to spot the Super Hellcat here. I'm just trying to turn him, to be honest with you, just so he doesn't fight our friendly team. Now what I should really do right now is just run. But I've decided I'm just going to ram the tank instead, which is probably not a good idea. So it wasn't a Super Hellcat. I keep saying it was a Super Hellcat all game, but it wasn't. It was a Charioteer, which is an even more dangerous tank, and he's probably now going to take us out. This probably wasn't really the play on my part. I was really just trying to distract the Charioteer for as long as possible, which allowed our friendly team to sort of get close without getting shot by the Charioteer. But yeah, I probably could have just waited a little bit longer. What I'm going to do now, though, is skip ahead to the end result and see how we finish this game. Okay, as you can see, our friendly light tank did manage to get the job done, and we did pick up the win there in the end, which is good. And we finished that game off fairly strongly with 4 kills, 3,600 damage and 1,600 assistance, and the ace tanker. I could add a bit more damage if I had a bit more self-control with my rounds there. But that brings us an end to the first replay, with one more replay to come. So let's move on. Okay, so we made it to the final replay then of the video. We are on Abbey. It is a tier A matchmaking, so we are middle tier, and there is 1 enemy artillery and no enemy light tanks. Initially we're going to play the right hand side of the map in the hope that we can get into the bush, and if anything tries to push and cross, we can get some early damage in. We have no light tanks to spot for us, but equally they have no light tanks to sort of full send and spot us. So hopefully we can get into a bush and, you know, use the concealment value of this tank to stay undetected. So we're going to be very, very patient at the start. Being in a tank destroyer, a stealthy tank destroyer, there's not really, I've got no turret. I can't be too aggressive. I have no idea how many tanks are down there at this point, and I am just going to be patient. Enemy tank does come across. We get 1 nice shot into this tank. If he keeps crossing, we should be able to land another shot into him and potentially take out this tank. And with the help of our friendly G-Saw, we do pick up the, we get the first tank out of the game, picking up 2 penetrations as well. So right now we have a pretty even map spread. We've got sort of a lot of tanks down the left, we've got tanks down the right. We only have 1 in the middle, so we may lose the centre of the map. But I'm just going to stay patient at this point, because I know there's more tanks down there, and I haven't got enough information of where the other tanks are to sort of know how many. And with our friendly heavy tank seemingly pushing up a little bit further, he may spot these tank destroyers down the sort of 8-9 line, which will allow us to get some shots in. So here they come, the tanks now cross, and then suddenly I realise the friendly tank on my team is trying to push me in the water and kill me, which is not helpful at all. And as you'll find out, this tank has turned into a light green colour, and that means he's already killed one of our friendly teammates, and we have an impostor on our team. And I'm just going to have to kill this tank, because now I can kill a friendly teammate. And the reason I'm doing this is because this tank was trying to kill me, and he is almost certainly going to get me killed if he doesn't die. Very frustrating and unsportsmanship-like, but you know, that's all what you're going to have to do. So I do have to waste shells killing one of my own teammates, which is never something you want to do. And it came at the worst possible time, because I had the opportunity to try and get cross shots in and get damage on the enemy team and try and keep our friendly teammates alive at the top. Unfortunately, that's now no longer possible because of that friendly, or well, supposedly friendly King Dragon there. So we're going to have to pull back. We've now lost that side of the map. Thankfully, I'd sort of come out of that unscathed and didn't manage to get pushed into the water. And you know, we're still in the game, but it has definitely made life a lot harder for us. But we know that these tanks are going to continue pushing down that 8-9 line because they have won that side. So I'm just going to try and react to that. We don't own the centre of the map, so I can't move there. I'm going to try and climb into this position here, which is quite a nasty position when you're in a stealthy tank destroyer. And I'm going to try and use these bushes to stay undetected and have shots at these tanks coming into our base, as well as the fact to try and keep them detected so they can't push across, and maybe our friendly artillery will manage to get shots in. We managed to take out one of the tanks from the middle of the map, and we have other shots into the centre. Now we're trying to sort of just do our best to cover our tanks in the centre and keep the tanks on the right hand side detected. At this point, I'm not sure. I've got so many bushes in, there's a good chance I probably won't even get spotted, even from firing at this range. I don't, and I managed to get 3 shots into this enemy Italian tank destroyer, putting them onto a one-shot, and maybe picking up the kill here if we're lucky. We do pick up the kill, confirming our second kill of the game. Still a very, very even game, but as you see, I sort of halted the advance of this team, and now they're stuck in a position where our friendly artillery can actually get shots into them, and our friendly tanks in the middle of the map could also potentially get shots in if we're able to win the middle. But we do have free farm here into this enemy VK. We're trying to get as much damage into this tank as I can while he's side onto us. Puts us onto about 2,000 damage. Try and get another shot into this enemy tank, and then we get spotted. So we've got to pull back down into our little hole while we lose our spot. And now the only really way for these tanks to kill me is to come up and shoot me, which is good, or unless the enemy artillery gets a shot into us. So again, we're going to try and get a shot into this VK while he's distracted. I'm probably going to get spotted here because I'm not really shooting through any bushes, which was to be expected, but I was just trying to whittle away his hit points. I'm going to have to lose my spot now and then do the same again. If he's not paying attention, I'll try and get another shot in and just try and take out these tanks, slowly but surely. Get a nice one into lower plate, which puts that enemy VK onto a one-shot, which is good. Enemy tank is now advancing towards us because he knows he's no longer safe. He's trying to spot us here. We have put him onto a 2-shot to us, puts onto about 3,100 damage. We do still have our friendly artillery. He's just landed a nice shot into him, and he then gets taken out by our friendly IS-2-2, which somehow we managed to actually survive and win that side, which is good, even though we did lose it and almost got pushed into the water by our not so friendly King Dragon. So now we have nice shots into this enemy heavy tank, which is in the middle of the map, and we're going to try and farm him. We should be able to pick up the kill. Brings us back to a 5 versus 5. We do pick up sort of 3,400 damage, a tiny bit of assistance, and 3 kills here. We only have 11 of our standard shells left and 2 of our HE, and I think I'm going to probably trade out those HEs in this tank just for more shells, which will probably come in more helpful, I think, while using this gun. We have now finally got the lead, but only just by 1 tank, and I've got to be a little bit careful. Our friendly tanks are now trying to push up towards the base, so I want to try and push forward so I can get into a position now just to try and help out our team. At this point, I was thinking about going down the 8-9 line, but I kind of have second thoughts. I think, you know what, maybe I'm better to go into the middle of the centre of the map. But our friendly tanks who are pushing that way have started to get taken out, which is not good for us, because if we lose those tanks, we're kind of down just to our friendly heavy tank with me here and our friendly artillery if we lose that heavy tank in the north of the map. So I'm trying to get over there because he's on a one shot, and it looks like he's trying to take out a enemy E25, which I think is also on a one shot. So maybe we can try and get a shot into that E25, because that could be very dangerous late on with its concealment factor. But there is an enemy Iron Rain, I know, as one of the other enemy tank destroyers, which is it can be a filthy tank and can kill me in 2 shots. So we've got to be very, very careful with that. One of our friendly tanks does get taken out by the Iron Rain. I'm just waiting because I suspected this E25 was going to try and push and escape. He does push. We need to just chase this tank down and kill him, because we don't find him now. You don't kill him now, we may never find him. And we need to just retake a little bit more control of this game and get one of these tanks out. So I do manage to take the E25 out, which picks us up our 4th kill of the game. And now I'm left in a 2v3 situation. They do have an enemy artillery, they do have an enemy Iron Rain, which I think I'm going to struggle, I will struggle to spot the Iron Rain unless he gets caught out and fires. And now I'm left to a 1 versus 3, and I'm thinking, what's the best thing to do here? I don't really want to push these tanks. I'm not really in the correct tank to do so. So I'm going to try and at least pull back to where I was before, and in the hope that they just try and find me, and then I can try and get some shots in. Yeah, it may be that I might have to abandon this plan, but at the moment I've got enough time on the clock in order to be a little bit patient. Like, I don't suspect the Iron Rain is going to do this, but I think the other enemy tank is a Black Prince, and they may very well try and come for us. So I'm going to put myself in a position on the base, which means wherever they come from, if they come from the centre, I'll outspot them. If they come from the left, I'm going to outspot them. Or if they come around the right, I'm going to outspot them, because I'm behind all these bushes. I've got fantastic concealment. If I don't move, I won't lose any concealment for moving. If I don't fire, I won't lose any concealment for firing. So I should outspot this Black Prince if he comes for us, for pretty much certain. Maybe the Iron Rain, he could sneak up on us, but I think I'm just going to outspot them right now. So I'm just going to stay patient and just wait. Now, obviously, if the enemy team just decide not to come at all and stay in their base, because they could do, because they have the advantage right now. If this game finishes as it is, 1 versus 3, I will lose the game. So I'm just going to wait, though, because I don't feel like I'm going to be able to kill a Black Prince with a Iron Rain actually covering him. Thankfully for me, this Black Prince does get spotted, and it does allow us, now we should have to finish, and we take out that enemy tank, putting us into a 1 versus 2 with an enemy Iron Rain and an enemy artillery left, and 9 shells left, and about 4,000 damage, or just shy of 4,000 damage and 300 damage. We have the potential to finish this game up with a devastator and a win. But it's not going to be easy. Being that there's an enemy Iron Rain is probably the least ideal tank to fight right now, because he's probably going to stay in this base in the concealment, which means I'm not going to outspot him. If I come around the corner and he's just there, he's going to delete me, because there's no way I'm going to kill him. Being that if obviously he's full health, obviously he has no damage, there's no hit points left, he's in a 1 shot. Then I have a chance. I have no idea at this point how many health the Iron Rain does have. So I'm going to assume the worst and assume that he is full health, and go from there. Obviously, if I get outspotted, the enemy artillery is going to be able to shoot us. So it's just not going to be ideal whatsoever. So we're trying to go round in there and just hope for the best right now. Hope we can maybe just catch them out and just spot them and find out if we get lit. At the moment, until we have no idea where they are. But there's always a chance the Iron Rain could have started to push our base. That would have been best case scenario for us, because that would have left the enemy artillery unattended, and we could probably kill him and still have enough time to get back for the base. But it doesn't look like that's happening right now. I could have poked on the right hand side of the ridge at the top to try and spot him, but I decided I'm going to actually try and go far left and go low ground so that maybe we can spot each other if we get close enough to each other, so he doesn't sort of outspot me. And maybe if I get in his proxy range, we can sort of just spot each other that way, and then at least that will find out where he is, and give me some sort of a fighting chance. But obviously I have no turret, it's just not going to be an easy fight for us. So we're posting up on this ridge. We're just hoping that we've sort of come behind him and we catch him off guard. That's what I wanted to, well, at least I want to try and do. I swapped to the small map, so I've got a good idea of where the tanks are. But I then get outlit and I'm thinking that's got to be the enemy Iron Rain. So I've got to pull back now, because otherwise I'm going to lose my tank and try and lose our spot. I suspect maybe the Iron Rain will try and chase me. Who knows? Enemy artillery is also looking for us. Just managed to avoid that enemy artillery shell. We do lose our spot now, so we're going to try and again stay the low ground so that he can't spot us unless he physically over pokes a hill or we get too close to him in the proximity and spot us that way. And we're going to try and go around to the other side and see if we can try and catch him out that way. It's just a little bit of sort of cat and mouse at this point, to be honest with you. We have a rough idea of where the enemy artillery was from that shell. It could be in the in the water on the right. It could have potentially shot from there. Probably could stay safe this way. And then we do spot the only Iron Rain, which I wasn't suspected. I think I'm going to die right now, but he's shot one, missed one, and then he misses the other one, which gives us the opportunity. I probably should have died, but we do manage to pick up the damage there. Puts us on to 6 kills, 4,000 damage. We are now on 300 hit points. So the artillery, I mean, I could have been a one shot to the artillery anyway, but yeah, he's only got to sort of splash us. Now at this point I'm thinking the artillery was going to be in the water on the right hand side. That's why I had a hunch he was probably at. So I'm trying to work my way that way. I've got to be careful I don't get shotgunned, and see if we can try and find him. As I pull round here, like I say, I still think he's going to be in the water on the right hand side, but I keep checking to the left just in case he is. And then it turns out he is actually in the left hand side. Now I make a mistake here. He wasn't paying attention, so I thought maybe he'd just gone AFK. He clearly hasn't. I missed one shot. I then somehow missed the second shot, and now I put myself in a very awkward situation. And I should have ran earlier. I'm now just trying to get close so I can get behind him, and I messed it up completely. And he shotguns me, and I throw that game, which is a real shame. It would have been awkward for me to kill him when he was in that corner like that, to be honest with you, but we still had a good game, even though we didn't manage to pick up the win. We do get 6 kills, 4,000 damage, do get the ace tanker. And that is it for the video. So thank you so much for your support. And as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!